Hi everyone, we are introducing our project ECEing. Our goal is to create a fortune-telling tool based on ECEing philosophy. This tool processes users' questions and hexagram data to generate the meaningful insights and guidance about the future. While there are existing applications that combines Asian stimulation tariffs with LLM, our goal is unique. Mixing ECEing with LLM agents, sharing ECEing wisdom to a broader guidance.
So for the first part of our data, we have the hexagrams. So each hexagram has 6 lines decided by the result of tossing coins. And each hexagram has its own general meanings, and each line has its a different aspect of interpretations. So, and sometimes based on the result of the tossed coins, we have a changed hexagram that indicates the trends of the future of the fortune. And we encoded the 64 hexagrams into numbers, and we put all the informations, including the interpretations and meanings, into a dictionary for the model to access. And next, we collect from the ancient and modern books of 200 real ECEing fortune-telling examples for the future use of the RAG and evaluation.
Let me talk about the architecture part. So the figure here shows how our system is built. So we first generate our hexagram with according to the time, and then we have user's question. User's question, we will use them to retrieve some of the relative examples from the vector database. And we will combine all the inputs in the input coordinator, and we feed them into our multi-agent system. So our system consists of 3 agents, and the first 2 agents, hexagram interpreter and the fortune telling, they are modeling the fortune telling in real life. So the hexagram interpreter agent will try to interpret the hexagram and try to get its detailed meaning. And we will pass its result to the fortune telling agent, who will perform the real fortune telling. And then we will finally have an advisor agent who will accept the results of the fortune telling and give meaningful insight and suggestions for the life. And we will evaluate only the real life fortune telling with a marking agent. Let me show you some of the prompts within the system. So our inputs, as stated before, consist of these parts. So example for RAG and hexagram information and the question. So we put question in the last because the context is way too long. We don't want the agent to forget. And we will show a prompt of the interpreter agent. So it also consists of 3 parts. So the first is the role description, and we will have the prior knowledge, which is detailed guidance of how to perform the hexagram interpretation to make sure it won't miss any required steps. And then we will have the instruction for that agent. So in his task, he will have to show the hexagram to the user to state the hexagram info, and he will try to explain how the interpretation within the example works. This will generate additional knowledge that could help in his own interpretation. So in this step, we also incorporate the train of thought technique that will better help him to think. And then finally, he will perform the interpretation himself.
So for the evaluation part, we decide to evaluate the first 2 agents' response by comparing it with the real-life example response. So every time when our response includes contents that are related to the example response, it will earn some points. We ask the marking agent to first break down the example into key points, assign score based on the importance, and mark our response with detailed. So far, we have achieved 7 out of 10 for average. Here I will show a concrete example. So user asks, will my friend fulfill his promises? And a hexagram generated. First, interpreter agent will receive 2 similar questions, and then will try to analyze how the hexagram from those questions being interpreted. And then back to the question itself, it will pick some useful information from the hexagram and try to give an overall hexagram image. And then fortune-telling agent got involved, received the interpretation, trying to combine it with the question itself, and trying to answer the question directly. From the result, you can see our response almost covered all the key concepts, but some points got deducted. Finally, advisor agent got involved based on the answer, provide some suggestions. Although this is an example to show how agents got involved and our system is performed perfectly, we do experience some of the questions our system performed poorly. From those questions, we realized that all hexagram information feeding into the agent may not always guarantee us a better response. In addition, we found that our agent will still try to deliver more positive answer even when the hexagram shows a pretty bad sign. In a different approach, we could try to incorporate user feedback into the system. We will let the user themselves to select, to choose, to balance between the quality of the hexagram interpretation and the user experience from our response. That's marked the end of our presentation. Thank you.